of giving birth to her. Selma's family obviously took her in, but since she was a bastard child of a lowborn mistress, she never had a true place in her family, and was always treated like an outsider. This got even more difficult for her when Selma left the home to become an adventurer. And when she returned for the first time, she saw Sophia's empty eyes and sad expressions, which were the cause of two adults making dumb decisions while the child has to bear the consequences. Selma couldn't see that and took Sophia with her the next time she left the house. And ever since that day, Sophia was always treated like a true sister of Selma. She looks at Orhan and claims that Sophia is the only thing she loves in this world, and claims that she wants to see her as a successful adventurer no matter what. Orhan promises to take care of her, and finally bids Selma goodbye before entering the training room, where he finds all three of his pupils in the group 10 waiting eagerly for him. They immediately swarm around him with greetings, but Orhan manages to calm them down and then sits down in front of them, claiming that he has been given the task to train them from now on. All three of them seem very happy. Carol claims that he is super strong and can do anything, to which Orhan replies that he still has a lot to learn, but Sophia cuts him off, claiming that Carol is right, as he literally defeated the Black Dragon easily on his own. Orhan smiles and thinks about the encounter and how close he was to losing the fight against that monster, but decides to push those thoughts away and simply thanks them, before claiming that someday they themselves will have to deal with the Black Dragon, so they must train their hearts out before that day comes. He gives them a pep talk, claiming that each one of them has a lot of potential waiting to come out, and he believes that one day they can all clear all the dungeons themselves. This gets the kids pumped as they thank him for taking them on as students. Orhan smiles and starts by telling them that there are some things he wants them to keep in mind at all times. The first is that they must keep their minds open at all times, and be flexible so that even if things don't go according to the plan, they can find a way to deal with the issue. The second thing he tells them is to think for themselves, as not everything he is going to tell them would be perfect, as he himself doesn't know a lot of the things. He claims that he has messed up a lot of things himself, and just because he is their teacher doesn't mean that he is automatically right. With that out of the way, he asks them for the reasons why they decided to become an adventurer. He starts with Sophia, who looks a little embarrassed at first, but then replies that she wants to be like her older sister Selma and become a great adventurer who can take her own decisions without having a fear of anyone. Orhan promises to help her find her dream one day, and then turns towards Logan, asking about his goals. Logan honestly replies that he is doing all this for money. The other girls are shocked, but Orhan tells him to continue, and he reveals that he comes from a village which is very poor, and getting food on a daily basis is a chore in itself, where people are forced to fight each day for their own survival. He claims that even though the village is poor, they pooled in all their money and then sent him to the city so that his talents don't go to waste. He claims that is the reason why he wants to become an adventurer, so he can pay them all back one day. He reveals that he was thinking that he is a pretty strong adventurer already, but when he saw the Black Dragon and the true strength of a top-tier adventurer, that's when he realized that he still has a long way to go before he can become a strong adventurer. Orhan promises to teach him everything he can, but tells him that he will have to put in all his effort as well to make sure he can pay back the generosity of his village tenfolds back. With that, he turns towards Carol and asks about her motivation, but she simply responds that she doesn't really have any motivations, and she just fights because she can kill the monsters, and that makes people happy, and she likes seeing a smile on everyone's faces. Orhan realizes that her darkness runs really deep as she tries not to show any emotions, but the grief and anger inside of her cannot be hidden, as she tries to mask it with a smile, claiming that people stop smiling when monsters are around, so she kills them. Orhan decides not to push her and moves on from the topic, claiming that he wants them to keep in mind why they have decided to become adventurers while they are training. Sophia asks Orhan why he became an adventurer, and Orhan thinks about everything he dealt with as a child, and replies that he wants to become as strong as he can be so that the things that he cares about can never be taken away from him, no matter what. He promises that he is not going to treat them as children and asks them to give him their all. The very next morning, they start their training by entering the lower level dungeons, where they soon come across a pack of wolf monsters. Sophie rushes in as usual and kills two of them at once with her knives before moving towards the next batch and killing them one by one. Orhan thinks about how Carol is bad news, since she is a defender whose job is to take all the attention away from the attacker and focus on defense, but she always jumps in head-on and tries to kill all the monsters she can as if she is an attacker herself. Just as he thought, she fights with reckless abandon and leaves herself open from an attack from behind, but Orhan was ready for it, and casts a shield wall to stop the wolf before jumping in and slicing its head clean off. He turns towards Carol asking why the hell did she leave herself completely defenseless from behind. But Carol simply smiles, claiming that it doesn't really matter to her. This confuses Orhan, but Carol simply brings the knife up and slices her own wrist. This shocks Orhan as blood starts pouring out of the wound. He rushes to stop the bleeding, but to his surprise, the wound closes itself up and the bleeding stops. Orhan has never seen anything like this before, while Carol claims that she can't be killed as her body regenerates immediately and she is completely used to pain, and that's why she doesn't focus on defense much. Orhan thinks about her history, about how she was captured by an evil church organization who dragged her out of her home and because of her regenerative abilities, performed all kinds of experiments on her. The church only has one goal, which is the resurrection of the evil overlord, and it has become the largest crime syndicate in the continent right now. Carol was saved 2 years ago, but the first unit of the Night Sky Silver Rabbits, which included Albert. She was very unstable back then, but slowly she became better and chose to become an adventurer out of her own volition. Albert's death, however, really struck her, but she never showed any feelings back then. Orhan tries to reach out to her and tells her that whenever she gets hurt, him and the entire team feel bad about it, and their smiles disappear. This completely sends her swirling as she drops the daggers and starts crying, promising never to do anything like that again. Orhan tries to reach out with his hand, but she jerks back while begging him not to hit him. This hits Orhan very deep as he realizes how much trauma this girl has gone through and immediately gives her a tight hug, which confuses her. He promises that no one is ever going to hurt her ever again till he is alive, and tells her not to worry about anything. The next morning, the real training starts as Orhan teaches Carol how to dodge the attacks instead of letting them hit her, while Logan takes on a spear to become a more versatile member of the group. Sophie is given the task to count backwards from 500 while hitting all the targets with 3 different spells. The same training circuit is repeated for the next few days, but now Will is the one training Logan as he is better at the spear than Orhan, while he focuses on Carol and Sophia, who are getting better and better with each passing day. Orhan finally feels content with their basic training and announces that they have all passed the basic training and are ready to move up to the next level, which is going to be harder than before, but he has high hopes from them. The kids celebrate while Rain enters the training room and tells Orhan that they need to head out to meet with the blacksmith as his sword is ready. Excitedly, Orhan heads to the blacksmith, who hands him his sleek sword. The moment he takes the sword in his arm, it feels like it was perfectly molded for him. The perfect angle, the perfect weight, and the perfect feel. He promises to himself that with the help of this sword, he will make sure that none of his comrades are ever hurt again. Not knowing what's around the corner waiting for him, he is overjoyed with his new sword, which feels lighter than ever but also looks wicked sharp. Rain comments about how in the entire kingdom only he has this sword and no one else. Orhan promises himself that he will always protect those near him, no matter the situation. The very next morning, Orhan and his party goes on into the dungeon and manage to descend down till floor number 91. He encounters the undead king there, but the monster is nothing in front of Orhan and his new sword, as he easily manages to chop the monster down in half with a single strike of his sword. He looks at his sword in awe, realizing that this weapon is really something else. His thoughts are broken by the rest of his party, who congratulate him for single-handedly taking down the monster, which means that they have cleared the 91st floor and can move on to the next one. Selma asks him how he feels about the new sword, and Orhan replies that the sword feels like a part of his hand and is incredibly comfortable. Will claims that the Night Sky Silver Rabbits have some of the best blacksmiths working for them, and Orhan has to agree since he has never seen craftsmanship like this before. Selma, however, reminds them that the materials and their quality also matter a lot. But since Orhan used the Black Dragon scales as the core, of course his sword is going to be one of the rarest and the best in the entire realm. After glazing Orhan some more, Selma tells them all that they should return back to the guild as after finishing the 91st floor. The next goal is the 92nd floor, the one where Albert lost his life to the Black Dragon, and promises that this time they will kill the dragon no matter what. By the time they come out of the dungeon, the sun was already about to set, and in the evening haze, while Otis was talking about how she wants to have something to eat and take a long bath, Selma calls Orhan aside, asking whether she can have a word in private. At first, Orhan wonders whether something went wrong, but then Selma claims that it's nothing like that, and she just wanted to discuss the plans to tackle the next floor tomorrow. Orhan apologizes though, claiming that he will first be going to take Sophia and the party for a dungeon diving expedition in the morning, as he already promised them that he would. Selma is a bit surprised, asking whether he should rest since they are also supposed to go to the next floor in a couple of days, but Orhan tells her not to worry, as he is only going as an instructor, and all the fighting would be done by the newbies. He claims that they are getting really good, and he believes that they should be able to clear the 29th floor all by themselves tomorrow. But he is going to be present just in case. Selma thinks about how quickly time is passing, since not long ago, Sophia was nothing but a brand new recruit who didn't know how to control her magic very well. And knows she's going to reach floor number 30 very soon, after which they would be considered as full-fledged adventurers, and will go on their own expeditions without any supervision. That night, he goes on to meet with the old man at the shop, and gets some tea there. The old man seems a little troubled, and reveals that he has heard some disturbing rumors recently, revealing that according to the talk in the town, the criminal organization Aramthrop is back, and are continuing their title as the Adventurer Killers. He claims that these rumors are coming from another dungeon at the southern side of the country, but it's not good. Orhan understands the gravity of situation very well, as there are two major criminal organizations in this world, one being Armanthrop, and the other one being the church. According to Armanthrop, no one should try and clear the dungeons as they are something divine and older than time, which humans shouldn't try to mess with. They are really strong and brutal in their own regards, as they kill adventurers that come across them without any mercy for their lives. Orhan then asks the old man whether these are just rumors, since they didn't get notified by the guilds to be careful or anything. But the old man replies that he would wish they were just rumors, but a couple days ago, some high-rank adventurers were found dead, and that could only be the result of them running into the men from Armanthrop. Orhan thinks about it and realizes that there is a possibility that the guild is not revealing anything yet to avoid any meaningless panic, which can cause even more chaos and will make the situation 10 times worse. He thinks about why do these people even care about the dungeons being cleared, but realizes that trying to understand what a murderer thinks about is completely useless, and all